All right, I was trying to get this microphone set up, but I don't know if it's working. I guess we'll find out after the video. Um, I just was asked a couple questions, and I guess I was feeling inspired, and so I wanted to make a video. Um, to all the young entrepreneurs out there, whether you're young in the business or young like me, um, I just want to give a little bit of encouragement to you. I think there's a big stigma around entrepreneurism being easy money. Um, I think maybe in the future it might be. You might once you learn the skills, but the point I'm trying to make is it's hard, um, and I think it's there's not much. Nobody really talks about what that means. What does hard look like? One, I think because it's so different, and I don't think a lot of people like to admit to it. I think hard looks like people telling you it's not going to work. I think hard looks like your own doubts in your mind that never seem to go away. I think hard looks like being unsure if everything you've sacrificed and everything you've put into it is going to be for nothing. And I guess the encouragement I want to put out there is you just have to keep pushing sometimes. Sometimes perseverance is the answer. There's a time to push and to pivot. There's a time to go forward in what you're doing and just persevere, and there's a time to pivot and change directions. But oftentimes, what I've found in the beginning, you just have to push through. I think it's hard. You don't know what you're doing, and the fear of failure, the fear of ignorance, of looking stupid, I think is big. At least it was for me. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to make a mistake, and people are like, "Oh man, that was stupid of you to, like, how could you think that made sense? How could you miss this, right? Contracts are supposed to have this on it." I think the biggest thing, man, nobody knows what they're doing when they start, and so do your due diligence, do as much research as you can, but there comes a time where you kind of just have to say, "This is the work I'm avoiding. This is the work I need to do. This is what's going to move me forward the fastest." And when that happens, when you realize, listen, when there's something you need to be working on, and you're not, and it's those times when you get the most growth. I mean, I look back on just the past 2 weeks, and the amount of times that I decided to, oh man, I'm just gonna chill for right now. I've been working 10, 12, 14 hours days. I think I'm just gonna watch a couple Netflix shows, and I think that'll be all right. I deserved it, right? And maybe, sure. But when I think back on the time of it, what if I spent that time doing the work I know needed to be done? There's a joy and a fulfillment that comes, a satisfaction, a true fulfillment that comes from getting deep in the work, and like when you really put your mind towards something and are really learning, and just you're focused, you're in on it, you're just in the work. I don't know how else to put it. Like there's fulfillment that comes from that. When, like, I guess a lot of people might call it the flow state. When you're in that flow state, there's something beautiful about it. It's like it's fulfilling. You know that's we were designed to work. When you get those moments, if you've ever had that moment where you're in the flow state, you're just getting stuff done, you're doing the right things, you're solving problems like that. It's times like that make you realize that work is what we're created for, and man, just keep pushing forward, because you're gonna get to the point, just like everything else in your life, where you've learned it enough to start knowing nothing, and you gain a little skill, and then you're like, okay, now that I have that skill, you don't have to think about it as much. It's more muscle memory, understanding. You have an idea of how it works, and you just have to do that skill after skill after skill. That's what I'm learning, is I have to do that skill after skill after skill, and each time there's a new skill that comes up, it's like, all right, like, I don't know anything about this, I got to go learn it, I'm going to feel stupid again. And that's part of it, and that's what partially what keeps you humble, keeps me humble, at least, is remembering that there's always more to learn, and I'm never there. I think you could look at my life in society's terms and say, man, he's really ahead of other people his age are, or he's doing great or whatever. A lot of people talk like that, and tell me that, to be honest, but they don't see what I see, where I want to go. They don't see where I want to go. I have this vision in this future that I envision, and the only way to get there is you have to be a little crazy. You got to believe in yourself, and that's what I'm working on doing. And it's not a perfect thing. It's what I'm learning for me is I have to consistently remind myself, and consistently, when I do something I know is not going to be beneficial to my goals, I have to remind myself who I want to become and why. And sometimes even then, maybe my why's not strong enough yet. But even then, it's just discipline. You're like, that's one of those times of like, I don't want to work right now, but I also know that I'm gonna feel better afterwards. Sometimes that's just what you got to do. Is just put your head down and do the things you don't want to do. I got asked about motivation earlier today. How do you keep that motivation? How do you dream bigger and don't let your thoughts slow you down? And part of my answer was sometimes you have to look at your surroundings and see, who am I surrounding myself with? Do you have good people around you? Do I have good people around me who are uplifting my dreams and bringing me closer to my goals and closer to God? And if those things aren't happening around me, it's not worth it, man. Sometimes there's people you gotta cut or kind of lessen how much you talk to, and that's the harsh reality of it. But if they're not making you a better person, and if they're not helping you become a better person, what good is it? I mean, really, if somebody being in your life, somebody being in my life, makes me a worse person, why would I want that person in my life? You know what I mean? Why would anybody? And so many of us have those people in our lives. And in terms of motivation, have the vision, allow yourself to dream big and then get to work. Have the vision and then dream. Sometimes I catch myself dreaming too much. I'm a big visionary guy. So allow yourself to dream and then think about, what can I do today? I like to think of, okay, I want this big company. I want all of these things here, and I want to vertically integrate over there, and I want to buy this, and I could do this, and I could learn this skill, and I could do it, and that's awesome. Love it. It's my favorite thing to do. But then there comes a time, okay, I got that. Now, if I was to think back, okay, what can I do right now? What's the best next step? And you're never going to know 100%. I'm never going to know 100%. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys are geniuses. But even then, I think you have to just make educated guesses. I have to make educated guesses. There's so many times that I don't know if I'm making the right decision. It's just, I'm guessing. I'm winging it pretty much. But I've got enough knowledge and background experience to I think, and my intuition doesn't, I think that this is going to be the best decision. Sometimes that's all you have. And you have to live with that decision and move on. And learn from it. If you don't learn from it, then it was for loss. But you can learn from every decision, I believe, good or bad. Sometimes the worst decision you make end up being the biggest lessons you make, you have or learn or whatever. But biggest thing is just keep pushing. All right, see ya.